Hello and welcome to The Basement. I'm your host, Carlos Johnston, and today, if you've ever thought about starting your own radio show, then you got to pay close attention because we're going to talk about that. I'm here today with my guest is Osiris Green. Osiris is a very, very prominent radio personality. I know you guys are familiar with him. So we're going to talk about Osiris for a minute before we get into what's really, really happening. And we're going to invite you guys into the world of internet radio. Osiris, what's going on, man?
What's good, man? What's going on?
Good.
Good,
Yes.
very good. Cool. Man, I'm cool. I just came in, as a favor to pretty much show everybody how to hook up a radio board. It's an analog board. They got different kinds of boards, digital, analog, and they also got like other ones I haven't even touched yet. But this is pretty much what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be taking them through steps, through the music, and through basically what to do if you want to start your own radio show.
Okay. So before we do that, tell us how you got into doing radio.
It's funny because when I was younger, like I had puberty early. I got a deep voice in like fourth grade, like
Fourth grade.
here, like honestly.
Fourth
And I had a lot of people tell me like you should do radio. You have that radio voice, and I didn't want to hear it. I wanted to be a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? So
But you had the radio voice, so that was like that quiet storm where you're just like, welcome.
pretty much.
I don't have it.
And I didn't really think I was gonna get into it. Plus I do music, so I was like, I don't think I was gonna get in the radio. My first semester here was 2011. I heard they had a station. I was involved, and mass comm was my major. So I came up and learned everything from scratch. Nobody showed it to me, like nobody.
Okay.
I didn't take a radio class until well after I had already been in the studio, learned how to use the equipment, learned how to do transitions, and pretty much taught myself from having like just one listener to the most we've had is maybe 20 or 22 because it's still starting out as a format, but it's taken a couple years to even get to know how to just do everything on the spot,
Okay, so what's the thing you love most about doing radio?
For me, I'm a good talker, man. Like not even to sound like conceited, if you will, but I can talk, man. Like, and it's easy for me to talk to like massive amounts of people, whether it be TV, whether it be radio. I just have the gift of gab, so it pretty much gives me freedom to do that,
Okay.
Inside of FCC regulations, of course. So,
Inside.
yes.
We got to stay inside.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were into music. So do you find that in doing a radio show, it kind of keeps you in touch with the music world?
Yes, both good and bad, because a lot of the songs I like have no clean versions because they're not radio version. That's another thing. It also depends on your format. If you're doing underground radio, internet radio, you can have profane language and you can have any kind of song that you want. But for what I'm doing for the school, everything has to be censored.
Yeah,
so it keeps me in the mainstream, which I like to get out the mainstream. But there's not too many censored underground songs,
Okay.
But
So now you got to play all the pop stuff so that you can get out of the.
Yeah, it's not that bad though. It also
not that bad.
also gives me good pop music, because pop music isn't that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You can always play Miley Cyrus, right?
We have no Miley Cyrus here.
Okay.
So,
That's a good job.
Yeah,
It's a good job. Okay, so right now we have, you say you would consider this a basic setup. Why don't we talk about some of the things that we have on the table here?
Well, first thing, the most important thing you have on the table is the board. The board is pretty much the brain, the heart, the left toe is everything, pretty much.
The left toe, not
everything,
the right toe.
yeah.
Got it.
The board is basically the most important piece, and it's really not that difficult to use. If you really want to learn how to do it, it's not going to take you more than a week to get super familiar with everything on a basic setup. You have your sound source, which is a laptop, and also I have a phone for my sound source. It's really two different sources on two different channels. You also have a speaker. We're going to go mono today. We're not going to do a stereo setup. This is just a mono because it's a very basic setup. You also have a microphone and headphones, which is pretty much, of course, headphones, you hear yourself, the microphone, and so your listeners can hear you. Very, very easy to do. Shouldn't take more than 5 or 10 minutes.
All right, so it's important to say we're not going to do an actual live broadcast on the internet,
No.
But here's what you would need to have that set up. Definitely your microphone so that your listeners can hear you, and your headphones, especially when you're making transitions, and we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
And you just kind of get a feel of what's happening behind the scenes and being able to really facilitate the show.
And also with radio, and the thing is, when you have a show, it's TV for your ears. You have to make sure you make that distinction where everything is as clear as possible to the listener, because they can't see you.
Right.
They can't see what you're talking about. You can't say, you know what I mean? They don't know what you mean. You have to elaborate, which is one of the most important
Kind of
things.
explain some of the things that's going on. So what are some of the reasons people might start an internet show?
Well, to be honest, just to play their music, play what they want to play and not hear what's on the radio nowadays, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much just, it's mostly because you want to. You want to play your music, speak your thoughts, and you don't want to follow something. You want to have your own thing. You want to create your own movement, your own brand, your own station.
All right.
Pretty much.
And they can do that online. There's like Blog Talk Radio, Ustream.
That's what we do it on Ustream.
You guys do it on Ustream. Okay, so plenty of formats for you to check out, and you'll be able to upload your radio shows. The format in the system, can't say how much all this costs, but definitely you're going to spend a little bit of money because you want quality.
It's over $2,000.
Over $2,000. I was trying to save you guys that, but we just told you.
Maybe $5.
Maybe $5.
So we can start out with something simple.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So first thing I have is my channel. These are mic channels. We don't need the mic channels because all we're doing is playing music. So we have this first channel strip. First thing I'm going to do is start playing the music on my laptop. Now, in order to do it, it's all about signal flow. It's going to come out of here into here, where you see these wires here. So first thing I do is cut on my channel, pressing the red button. I put it on program, which is this green button, make sure both of those things are on.
Okay.
If I want to hear it, I got to push up this channel.
Okay.
I don't hear anything. You see the meters moving.
I see the meter.
But I don't hear anything. Over here is monitor. The monitor is for the speaker. So if I turn this up, it should make a difference.
All right, and there we go. So we making sure we got our wires connected. Okay.
And that's the first channel.
First channel.
And that's coming from my laptop.
Okay.
And it's censored, trust me. So that's coming from a laptop.
So most of your programming that you're gonna have coming from the laptop could be your music, it could be your sound clips, your bytes, whatever sound source that you have coming in. If you guys are discussing something and you cut away to something that was previously recorded, you got to have your main source coming from there.
And also, if y'all saw what I had to make sure the wire was pushed completely in. It's also very trial and error. So the next thing I have is my phone. My phone is also a sound source. And it's once again plugged into my phone, coming into the board. So I just go to my phone, I have music on, and I press play. I'm gonna turn the first channel down, do the same thing I did to the other one, press the power button and press program, and
so now we got our second sound.
And you see, here's the thing, it's like trial and error. You hear the music, but it sounds distorted. It sounds really watery, like
it does sound faded.
And that's a bad wire. That's an indication of a bad cable. So it's always best to carry a backup. You always have backups because you don't know what can go wrong with troubleshooting. So I'm gonna turn this down and unplug this bad wire, and also I'm gonna keep this bad wire and dispose of this bad wire. So I'm gonna take this out, and this should be fine.
Okay.
And let's see if we hear a difference.
Oh, that's much better. Definitely a much better sound.
Everything's clear, it's coming out crisper, and it rock. So there's no distortion, no nothing, man. So.
Okay. So with this board, you can definitely fade from one song into the next, so you get that real DJ on the radio feel.
Absolutely. It's as far as fades, it's and the thing is, when you do transitions, there's different kind of transitions. They have hard transitions, they have soft transitions, and they have medium transitions.
Okay.
What I have now, because I don't have a playlist really made for like a setup to where all the songs will have the same tempos, you can also do a hard transition, like how I have this jump playing. But if I just wanted to do like a rough transition where the tempos won't be the same, I just turn one down and bring it up.
Okay, so that keeps the transition pretty smooth. Just got to be able to control it as you move forward. Okay, so this is a pretty simple setup for running your internet show, your radio show. Being able to pull in your sound source, you got your microphone so that you can talk to your listeners, and this is not set up for call-ins though, right?
You can call in. The thing with call-ins is it's actually not hard to do. I wish I had the actual phone to show y'all how to do a setup for call-ins, but they actually have a port right here that says phone. I don't know if y'all can see the port that says phone, but what you can do is you plug the phone into this port, you plug the port into the telephone, and whatever extension that number is, you would basically call that phone, and we will be able to put you on the channel what the phone is, with this channel over here that says phone. Make sure we cut it up and turn everything up as well. So, and another thing that we do on radio is, I just had it actually, is if you have a beat, like if you have an instrumental playing on radio, that's called a music bed. So you know how people have those like sessions where they're talking about something and they have the music playing in the
And the
background to
music's
set
in the
the
background,
mood.
yeah.
So if this is like a real serious song, so if I was like, you know what I'm saying, the government is terrible, if it was like a revolutionary show
One
and
of those
everything is
conspiracy
terrible,
theories, yes.
yeah, and it has that really rough sound to it, and it would give that really eerie feel to the station. I also have songs like this.
Obviously, because you got to
It's
pick up your
Hypnotize.
listeners.
Yes,
Yes.
And Hypnotize is like, yo, we just have a contest, man. Everything's great. It's summertime. The birds are out. Women is beautiful, man. Everything is great. That's the kind of mood you would set with the music bed like that.
Okay.
You know.
So what about some of the levels? Like, how are we making sure that we're not playing the music too loud if we're definitely going to have it in the background as the music bed, as you said?
Well, usually it's one or two things. You have your headphones, and of course, I can't really put on the headphones. Y'all can't really see me put on the headphones, but you can hear yourself.
Okay.
If you can hear distortion in your headphones, 9 times out of 10 it's going in distorted. Also, you have meters.
Okay.
You have meters, and when you push it up, the higher you push it up, if it's hitting the red on the meters, then it's too loud.
Okay.
Especially if it's pinned. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much, you have to pay attention to everything. And even your music levels, yo, like the way we're talking now, the music can't be louder than my voice. They're not gonna be able to hear us if my music is overplaying us when we're talking about a subject. So you have to make sure everything is cohesive, and it's a lot too.
Okay,
You know?
okay. And then, so when we're just playing the music and we're ready to just let music play and we're not talking, what level should we be at?
The level you should be at, it really all depends.
It just
It
depends?
honestly depends. It's really based on circumstance because it depends on what kind of mic you have and how it's picking up your voice, and it also depends what kind of quality the music is, you know?
Right,
Because
right.
this song has excellent quality and a lot of bass. You could have
Right.
another song that has very, very compressed quality.
Okay.
You know, it's an internet radio show. Everything's not going to sound super polished and super, super sharp.
Right,
So,
right. Just trying to figure out that balance between what your listeners can hear and how much they have to adjust their volume whenever they're listening to your show, because obviously you want people to come back to the show.
obviously, you know, and that even goes into topics and everything. You know,
Right.
the technical aspect is important, but the more important aspect is if you want to have your own internet radio show, would be your format. What's your show about? Do you have a constant theme, or does your theme change up? My show in particular, which is called Sporadics Radio, on Mondays and Wednesdays from 2 to 3 o'clock, consists of a variety of different formats. We're a hip hop station. We play majority hip hop and R&B music. You know, of course it's censored, and we pretty much have different topics all the time. We talked about relationships in our show today.
Okay.
Last week's show, we talked about I think we talked about politics.
Okay.
Then we talked about legalizing drugs. Every show had a different theme. you
Okay.
know, so it all depends on your format.
Okay, so with this board, I see we have 2 mic setups. You have 4 CDs.
Okay.
Over here, what's this Q button for?
This button, queuing, is if you want to hear, let's say, like, remember how the song I played through my phone was distorted at first? If I want to hear it before it comes out, I would press Q. And you can't hear it on the radio, but I can hear it on a separate Q channel. And I'll
Okay.
be able to turn this up. So queuing is literally like your cue.
Okay, so just
saying?
previewing it before you go ahead and play it.
So-
Okay. Okay, so I think this has definitely been a good start for all of our listeners and viewers out there. If you're trying to set up your own radio show, this is basically where you want to start. Getting yourself ready, getting the proper equipment, and definitely making sure that you put out a quality product. I'm glad that we had Osiris Green on the show today, definitely showing you guys some good and some new information. Make sure you catch us next time when we come to the basement.
Cool. Peace.